Hello NCAC sports fans, and welcome back to another episode of This Week in the NCAC. I'm your host, Brett Billhart. On this week's show, we'll celebrate the achievements of those spring sports student athletes who were named NCAC Athletes of the Week in their respective sports for the week ending on Easter Sunday, April the 20th. We'll open this week's show on the courts as the NCAC regular season tennis schedule concluded last week, and these seeds are now set for the 2014 NCAC Men's and Women's Tennis Championships. Let's first take a quick moment to recognize the Player of the Week recipients for both genders. The men's award went to DePaul senior Sam Miles, who helped guide the Tigers to the number 2 seed in next weekend's NCAC tennis tournament with a perfect 4-0 record in a pair of NCAC wins last week against Wabash 8-1 and Denison 7-2. Miles, a native of Indianapolis, Indiana, and a graduate of Park Tudor High School, posted a pair of straight-set wins at number 1 singles and teamed with classmate Ben Kopeski for a pair of 8-3 wins at number 1 doubles. The women's award went to Denison senior Kelsey Gepner, who racked up 2 wins at number 1 singles as the Big Red split a pair of NCAC West matches. Gepner, a resident of Ann Arbor, Michigan, opened the week with a straight-set victory over Wittenberg's Olivia Underwood before topping regionally ranked Maggie McPhail of DePaul by a 6-2, 7-6 margin on Saturday. And with the NCAC regular season now complete, the 2014 NCAC Tennis Championships will be held at Denison University in Granville, Ohio this weekend, April the 25th through 27th. The tournament begins with quarterfinal matches on Friday, semifinal and consolation matches on Saturday, and the championship and third place matches for each gender on Sunday. On the men's side, Kenyon was tabbed as the top seed and will open the tournament against 8th-seeded Ohio Wesleyan. Number 2 DePaul will open tournament play against number 7 Wabash. The remaining opening round men's matches will feature number 3 Denison versus number 6 Wittenberg and number 4 Allegheny versus number 5 Oberlin. And DePaul has emerged as the number 1 seed in the women's 8-team tournament and will open play against 8th-seeded Wittenberg. Number 2 Denison will open play against number 7 Ohio Wesleyan. The remaining opening women's matches feature number 3 Oberlin versus number 6 Worcester, and number 4 Kenyon versus number 5 Allegheny. And fans, the official tennis championship website, which includes match times and locations, can be accessed by visiting DenisonBigRed.com. And we'll now head out to the lacrosse field, as the field is also set for the second annual NCAC Men's Lacrosse Tournament. Denison earned its 3rd straight NCAC Men's Lacrosse Championship with a pair of league wins last week over arch-rival Ohio Wesleyan 10-9 and Hiram 27-2. The Big Red, who now own 15 league titles all-time, enter the NCAC tournament as the top seed and will host 4th-seeded Wittenberg on Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m., while 2nd-seeded Ohio Wesleyan will host 3rd seed Kenyon at the same time on Wednesday night in Delaware, Ohio. The championship game of the tournament is set for Saturday at the site of the highest remaining seed to emerge from the semifinal round. And the final men's lacrosse weekly award for the 2014 season went to Denison sophomore James Meager after he launched the Big Red to the number 1 seed with the game-winning goal in DU's 10-9 come-from-behind victory over Ohio Wesleyan on Wednesday night. Meager, who resides in Columbus, Ohio, netted the game winner against the Bishops with 5:04 showing on the 4th quarter clock and finished the game with 2 goals and 5 ground balls. He also added 2 assists against Hiram to finish the week with 4 points, 6 ground balls, and 2 caused turnovers. In women's lacrosse, Wittenberg sophomore midfielder Carrie Kubasta collected the weekly honor after she helped the Tigers earn at least a share of their first league title in program history. Kubasta, a resident of Medina, Ohio, accumulated a team-high 4 points on 2 goals and 2 assists in the team's thrilling 15-14 win over Denison on Friday. She also added 2 more scores in the Tigers' 25-12 win over DePaul on Wednesday. And in the 2 games combined, Kubasta tallied 6 points with 4 goals and 2 assists, to go along with 13 draw controls, 4 caused turnovers, and 7 ground balls. There are 8 games remaining on the NCAC women's lacrosse schedule, with 4 each on Wednesday and Saturday. The pairings for the 2014 NCAC women's lacrosse tournament will be announced following the conclusion of all league games on Saturday. And now let's head out to the links, where NCAC golf teams wrapped up the regular season portion of their schedules last weekend. The weekly Women's Award went to Allegheny senior Miranda Santucci after she claimed medalist honors at the Gannon Invitational for the 2nd year in a row. Santucci, a native of Carnegie, Pennsylvania, topped the individual standings by 6 strokes with a 2-day total of 149, which included an opening round 77 and a career best 72 in the final round. The Gators tied for 3rd with Ursuline in the final team standings with 682 strokes, while Gannon won its own team title with 661 strokes. The weekly Men's Golf Award was distributed to Denison freshman Jonathan Taylor as he helped guide the Big Red to their first team title since last April over the weekend at Worcester's Nye Intercollegiate, played at the Worcester Country Club. Taylor, an Upper Arlington, Ohio native, finished in a tie for 4th in the individual standings after carding a 36-hole score of 154, while DU topped the 12-team field with a 2-day total of 625. And the first event of the 2014 NCAC Golf Championship Series will be contested this weekend, April 26th and 27th, at Twin Bridges Golf Club in Danville, Indiana, with DePaul serving as the host institution. The second and final event of the Golf Championship Series will take place the following weekend, May 3rd through 4th, at Crawfordsville Country Club in Indiana, with Wabash serving as the host institution. And we'll now step into the starting blocks to celebrate the accomplishments of this week's Athlete of the Week award winners on the outdoor track and field circuit. In men's action, Wittenberg sophomore Lake Wallace won the 400-meter hurdles to lead the Tigers to a 6th-place finish at the Kenyon Spring Invitational. Wallace, a native of Westerville, Ohio, and a graduate of St. Francis de Sales High School, broke the tape in the event with a winning time of 43.82. And the final men's award this week was given to Allegheny senior Cameron Day, who posted the best effort in the NCAC this season in the javelin on Saturday at the non-scoring Baldwin Wallace Sparky Adams Invitational. Day, who is a resident of Muncie, Pennsylvania, and a graduate of Hughesville High School, finished 2nd overall at BW in the javelin with a toss of 191 feet, 8 inches. The first women's award for distance and middle distance events went to Allegheny senior Christina Martin, who posted the league's fastest time to date in the 3,000-meter steeplechase on Saturday at BW. Martin, who resides in Holly, New York, broke the tape in the 3,000 steeplechase with a winning time of 11:13:54. And the next women's award for sprint and hurdle events went to Kenyon senior Sierra De Leon, who won 3 individual titles and accounted for 30 of the ladies' 73 points at their own spring invitational. De Leon, a native of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, set Kenyon and Wilder track records in both the 100 and 200-meter dash events, with winning times of 12:24 and 24:99, respectively. De Leon also topped the field in the 100-meter hurdles with a time of 14:85. And the final women's award for field events went to Oberlin senior Tiffany Henry, who posted 3 top 5 finishes in throwing events to lead the Yeowomen to a 2nd-place finish at the Kenyon Spring Invitational. Henry, a Hartsdale, New York native, won the discus with a heave of 37.23 meters and finished second in the hammer and third in the shot put. Ohio Wesleyan did earn the women's team title at the KC Spring Invite with 115 points, while Oberlin was second with 107.5, Worcester third with 88, Kenyon sixth with 73, Wittenberg eighth with 52, and Denison 12th with 8 points. And on the men's side, Penn State Barron won the KC Spring Invite team title with 117.5 points, followed by OWU in a tie for second with 84 points, Wittenberg in sixth with 62, Worcester in seventh with 61, Oberlin in eighth with 48, Kenyon in ninth with 33, and Denison in 10th with 32 points. And fans, the first scoring events of the 2014 NCAC Track and Field Championships will be conducted this weekend, April 26th through 27th, with the men competing in the decathlon and the women in the heptathlon. The 2014 NCAC Track and Field Championships will then be contested the following weekend, May 3rd and 4th, at Oberlin College. And finally, we'll close out this week's show on the diamond by recognizing the Player and Pitcher of the Week selections for both baseball and softball. The Player of the Week in baseball went to Hiram Jr. outfielder Jaron Bell, who feasted off of non-conference pitching last week. Bell, a native of Girard, Ohio, hit 10 of 14 in 3 games combined, with 1 home run, 7 runs scored, and 4 RBI. The Terriers swept Dieuville by scores of 14-10 and 18-2 on Thursday before knocking off Madai 11-2 on Friday. The weekly pitching award for baseball went to Worcester senior Steve Hagan, who threw the second complete game shutout of his career in the Scots' 10-0 win over Oberlin on Friday. In 7 innings of work in the game, Hagan, a native of Brecksville, Ohio, struck out 6, issued just 2 walks, and scattered 7 hits to limit the Yeomen to a .269 batting average. The NCAC baseball divisional standings are starting to take shape as Allegheny and Worcester share the lead in the East with identical 10-2 records, while Denison stands atop the list in the West with an 11-3 record. Denison will host DePaul for a make-up West Division doubleheader on Wednesday, while the Final 4 regular season divisional series will be contested this weekend. Following this weekend's action, matchups will be released next Sunday for the following weekend's cross-divisional series. Those cross-divisional series will then determine the 4 teams that will compete in the 2014 NCAC baseball tournament. And the Player of the Week award in softball went to DePaul sophomore Lindsey Button, who keyed the Tigers' offensive unit in an NCAC doubleheader sweep over Allegheny. Button, a native of Baldwin, Missouri, and a graduate of Lafayette High School, went 3 for 5 at the plate in the 2 games combined with a grand slam, a triple, and 6 RBI for a 1.60 slugging percentage. And in the pitching circle, Kenyon Jr. Matty Stark garnered the weekly award for the 2nd time this season after pitching all 12 innings in an NCAC doubleheader sweep over Worcester. Stark, who resides in Glenview, Illinois, collected her 8th shutout of the season in the ladies' 8-0 Game 1 win over the Scots, and then allowed just 1 unearned run on 2 hits in the 2-1 victory in Game 2. Stark racked up 8 strikeouts in the 2 games combined, which now gives her 108 for the season and pushes her to the top of the program's all-time strikeout list with 299. And as we head into the final week of the NCAC softball regular season, DePaul holds a 2-game lead over Wittenberg for the top spot in the league standings, as DPU is 10-2 in league play, and Witt holds an 8-4 record against league foes. There are 9 NCAC doubleheaders remaining on the league schedule this week, with 4 each on Wednesday and Saturday, and 1 more on Sunday. The official seeds and pairings for the 2014 NCAC softball tournament will be announced following the completion of the Denison and Kenyon doubleheader on Sunday. And fans, as always, for up-to-date news, stats, and standings from around the North Coast Athletic Conference, you can log on to our website at www.northcoast.org. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter at NCAC, as well as like us on Facebook. And for the entire conference staff, I'm Brett Billhart, and thanks for watching.